Now, calling yourself the greatest of all time in team sports, it's not really done. Magic didn't do it, Kareem didn't do it, Jordan didn't do it, and in football, someone like Tom Brady also never did it. One, because it's
gotta have the humility, you know what I'm saying? I think that's the term. You know, just it's a respect for the ones who came before you, man. It's just unwritten rule in there, like
kind of disrespectful.
Say that.
And two,
they
because
ask
your
you questions
peers
about
and
that.
fans are the ones talking for you.
Y'all see the title, man. Let's get to it.
That one right there made me the greatest player of all time. That's what I felt.
Starting off with the fool.
I was super ecstatic to win one for Cleveland because of the 52-year drought.
I don't want it in a sense because I think it disrespects Will Chamberlain, Jerry West, all the guys that prior to me I never had a chance to play against.
And then after I stopped, I was like, that one right there made you the greatest player of all time.
When I hear it, I cringe a little bit.
I understand what people say that's cringe, bro. Cause bro, why you say that, gang? Oh shit, man.
When I hear it, I cringe a little bit because it's a little bit embarrassing because no one knows.
Everyone knows back in 2018, LeBron James had the infamous quote of saying 2016, quote unquote, made him the GOAT in NBA history by beating the Warriors and come back down 3-1. Now, calling yourself the greatest of all time in team sports, it's not really done. Magic didn't do it, Kareem didn't do it, Jordan didn't do it, and in football, someone like Tom Brady also never did it. One, because it's
gotta have the humility, you know what I'm saying? I think that's the term. You know, just it's a respect for the ones who came before you, man. It's just unwritten rule in there, like
kind of disrespectful.
Say that.
And two,
they
because
ask you
your
questions
peers
about
and
that.
fans are the ones talking for you and how great you were. And LeBron's theatrics since that moment, since declaring himself the greatest of all time, they've only gotten worse and more extreme. And after this year's Western Conference Finals, being swept 4-0 by Denver, the theatrics are once again back in full form.
You gotta
after
chill with
losing
those.
Game 4, LeBron James, out of nowhere, hinted at possibly retiring. To anyone who's just a casual NBA fan, they know this statement is a smokescreen to avoid all critiques as well as criticism. And even worse than that, it took all the attention, all the praise off the Denver Nuggets, who actually won this series. And LeBron, per usual, made himself the storyline and shifted the narrative. Now, most recently, at this year's ESPYs, which I doubt anyone watched because they're just awful, LeBron once again did some self-promotion with some cringe comedy. As he said point blank, NBA fans need to respect him no matter what. And later in the speech, he said actually, he's not retiring and he's coming back. I don't think Michael...
The way he said he was coming back was just, come on, gang. You saying? You get a little too cocky, gang. You know what I'm saying? You weren't the greatest of all time, you know what I'm saying? But come on, gang. Come on, chill. He talking about some, lucky for you, I'm not retiring. That was crazy, bro. That was crazy. I ain't gonna lie.
Well, I know Michael Jordan never pulled that type of stunt, almost begging for attention, begging for respect from the actual fans who watch him play. And to fake retire, to obfuscate criticism, it's one of the lowest things you can do as a professional athlete. For someone of LeBron's stature, it should be beneath him, but unfortunately, it's not. As like we've seen numerous times, as LeBron gets older, his career dwindles. He will quite literally do whatever to take control of the narrative. And I think nowadays, the average person, the average NBA fan, they're recognizing that fact more and more. And for the hardcore NBA fans who pay attention to everything, these constant gimmicks with the media, false narratives, and smokescreens, it's growing very, very tiring. And Clutch Sports, having to control the narrative 24/7, is just unbearable. And one last thing.
What does Clutch Sports produce? Because I never really seen anything like Clutch Sports Productions, nothing like that.
I do want to say,
never seen no videos.
when it comes to LeBron James, really post 2018, a lot of his quotes he has that are hot takes, It's me, and I. What I mean by that is someone like Jordan, he was always put the team first and we. Not me, but we. And I think it's increasingly more obvious LeBron James is so transfixed on his legacy, he'll make these calculated moves that he thinks are genius, but most times backfire and come off as corny. The fake retirement being the corniest of all the moves. And even this year alone, after passing Kareem in scoring yet again, LeBron James declared himself the greatest of all time. Never mind actually losing the game versus the Thunder at home
Right,
in
that was
embarrassing
crazy.
fashion.
That was crazy. You can't lose the game. Like, you can't lose the game. You know what I'm saying? For all that, forget the record, man. For right now, man. You know what I'm saying? Get that next game. Like, we can't be
All
out
he
here.
cared about was the record and the quote-unquote GOAT. In a weird way, the basketball gods had their sense of comedy as well as irony. And looking back at that fake retirement, comparing to Michael Jordan, when he retired in '93, what did he retire after doing? Oh yeah, that was three-peating and beating Phoenix in the finals. His second retirement in '98, what did he do? Once again, three-peated, beating Utah in '98 in Game 6. And of course in '02, his final retirement at age 40. It wasn't some fake smokescreen, I might retire, I might not. Everyone knew that season for Jordan was his real last dance. To restate myself, LeBron's fake retirement was corny, not needed, and just flat out embarrassing. And one more thing I do want to talk about that has gone way underreported is that after Game 4 versus Denver, it was mysteriously leaked to the press LeBron James he might require foot surgery.
Oh yeah. The excuses be crazy. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't gonna lie, bro. This speaks volumes about character and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is why Bron is disliked or hated, if you want to say. You know what I'm saying? He brings it upon himself. He definitely does. And I never denied that. But all I'm saying is, we gotta stop acting like just because he's a dweeb and a corny dude, he's not a great player. Come on now. That's being disingenuous. Like, come on, bro. Just because he's a corny dude don't mean he's not one of the greatest of all time. Like, just keep it a buck.
This
with
right
yourself.
here obviously was another
man.
smokescreen to change the narrative and have a built-in excuse. Because weeks earlier, LeBron James himself said the doctor he went to was, quote, the LeBron James of feet.
Yeah, that's a fact. A foot doctor or some shit.
But conveniently, after getting swept and losing, now he might need surgery, and it's on the table. And fast forward a couple of weeks, and very, very quietly, LeBron James, all of a sudden, once again, doesn't need foot surgery. Are you noticing a pattern with LeBron James when he loses?
You saying
There's some excuse, some caveat, some asterisk that has to be added, as was noted. LeBron James, of course, is a great player, and you can't deny that. But the circus that follows him, the media frenzy, the narratives, 20 years in, it's kind of tiring. I think the average fan is getting annoyed with it. And speaking of annoying, we have LeBron James fans. And recently, I saw one of these tweets from them that was just utterly shameless. As he said LeBron James, he won 2 times without Wade, 2 without Bosh, 3 without Kyrie.
Yo, bro, like, alright, come on, bro. Like, it's definitely this dumb takes on both sides, though, bro. It's dumb takes on both sides, bro. I'm gonna just say it like
won
that.
One playoff game
This is crazy
without Scottie Pippen. This right here, it's like baseline thinking, room temperature IQ type stuff. LeBron in his career has
But that
been
just
on 3
shows
different
LeBron.
teams,
Yeah, LeBron just changed teams a whole bunch, you know.
4 teams if you count Cleveland twice. When you hop the team, conference to conference, have all these all-stars, most likely you're going to get a championship in many different cities.
And when you look at Pippen's early stats as well, you know what I'm saying? You could even watch him, but there's not much to watch because he wasn't even playing that much. He wasn't even starting. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But for Michael Jordan
so
in his
it's like,
career,
come on, bro.
15 years, 13 of them were in Chicago, and only 3 of them were minus Scottie Pippen. And where it gets really ridiculous, for Michael Jordan, you're looking at 3 years, his first 3 years in the NBA. Not a prime Jordan, a peak Jordan, but his first 3 seasons, and judging him off that alone. And what fans don't acknowledge, the Bulls team he went to, they were complete garbage. As a year prior, had 27 wins and the second worst record in the entire NBA. And looking at Jordan's playoff competition, which he did lose to his first 3 years, he played the Bucks, a near 60-win team, the Celtics, who won way above 60 wins, and of course Boston again in 1987. If you want to get really nitpicky about it, Michael Jordan's first 3 years were more impressive than LeBron's first 3 years. As LeBron James, his first 2 years missed the playoffs entirely. A fact no.
Is the first 2 years is when MJ averaged 37 and 35. Because if so, then you know what I'm saying, there's not much you can do with that. You know what I'm saying? Average 37 in the era with the pace is damn near below 100 points.
No one talks about or wants to know.
And then you add in the assists and rebounds, he's accounting for more than half of the buckets. More than half. You know what I'm saying? That's ridiculous.
Dumb things you can do with this tweet. You're acting like Scottie Pippen off the bat was a Hall of Famer, an All-Star, and a superstar. When in reality, he was a bench player and a role player at that. As comparing Jordan versus Pippen, 88-89 in the playoffs, it's pure comedy. As Jordan, in virtually every category, averaged more than Pippen. Points, steals, assists, rebounds, and shooting better from the field.
Scottie was just calm prospect.
Being a loyal team to Pippen, loyal to the Bulls. It's this weird LeBron James fan thinking, and really 2023 thinking. As back in the 90s, someone like Jordan would never join the Knicks, the Lakers, and form a super team like LeBron James. And I think that tweet, in a weird way, almost makes LeBron James kind of look worse. As what it shows, in my view, is he can't sustain a team in one place like Jordan did for a decade. What LeBron does, he goes to teams, gets all-stars, kind of uses them up, jumps ship, does the same thing again, and inevitably jumps ship again. And having Kyrie, Love, Anthony Davis, Wade, and Bosh, that is a revolving door of superstars that is more than enough help. And the last point I do want to make when it comes to Jordan, in his first championship, that team had no finals experience. Compared to his last championship in '98, that Bulls roster was the oldest champion in NBA history. My point being, Jordan once again could sustain it compared to LeBron James, who has to jump ship. So that right there is the end of the video. As always, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it.
That's the end of this one too, man. Yeah, but I don't really got a problem with players jumping ship. Maybe because I'm from this era. But yeah, I don't really got a problem with that. Like, you know, understand staying down, staying loyal with your team. But at a certain point, if they're not, you know what I'm saying? If it's not getting done, if it's not going to be what's best for you in your career, you know what I'm saying? But it's how you do it. It's how you do it, you know. Bron wanted to make a whole show, make a whole little show premiere, you know what I'm saying? Let's put this on TV for everybody to watch. Like, what? What are you doing, gang? You know what I'm saying? It's how you do it, though, man. That's the end of this one. Share the video, click on the last reaction, turn on post notifications, subscribe, like the video, comment. I'm out of here.